Hello everyone, TimeToGrind here, and today I wanted to talk about the new Lethal League Blaze. And if you don't know what Lethal League is, it was originally a game that came out a couple of years ago that was one of the most unique fighting games I had ever played. Instead of attacking each other with fists or magic, like most other fighting games, you would instead attack each other with a baseball. And it looks ridiculous, but it actually has a lot of depth to it. Pretty much the core gameplay is there's this baseball, that gets faster and faster and faster, and it, bounces off the walls and the ceilings and everything like that, and you try to hit it. And when you hit it, the ball becomes your ball. Say you're first player, the ball would be red, and that would indicate that if the ball came to you, you wouldn't get hit by it. So you can't hit yourself with your own ball, but you could hit other opponents. And back in that game, if you got hit by the ball at all, you were dead, and that was that round. And so you were trying to hit the ball, and it would get faster and faster and faster, and they would hit the ball. You'd try to hit it at the certain angle so you wouldn't die. And eventually, once it got super fast, every time you hit it, time itself would stop, and you would have 4 or 5 seconds. It would show you at the very bottom when the ball was going to get released, and you could try to either jump up and hit it as soon as they released it, or just kind of know what angle it was going to hit and hit it then. And eventually somebody would choke or make a mistake, and there was a lot of depth to the game because you have a power bar. So you have every character has their own special they can do. So you have people like Raptor, which when he uses it, he can release it early, and he can choose what angle he wants to do it at. Latch can just eat the ball and then release it a little bit later. And everybody jumps differently, everybody feels differently, their movement. They hit them at different angles, and so it added a lot of depth to the game. And a couple days ago, I didn't even know this was really being even developed. I saw a trailer for it a couple weeks ago. For me, it kind of just came out of nowhere, is Lethal League Blaze, and it is the new version of Lethal League. And in my opinion, it's better in almost every single way. One thing is, if you're scared that the music got changed, all of the tracks are still there. They just got remastered a little bit, so they're not exactly the same. They don't change them too much, but it's nice to kind of have a new retouch on them. And the reason I'm talking about music first is because music in this game is super important for a lot of people, because this music is amazing. I'm gonna just play a couple little clips of some of the music just for you guys to listen in case you've never heard these bangers. But yeah, just take a listen. And on top of that, the art style looks really good. So whereas the original Lethal League was kind of 2D, this is sort of a 2.5D, if you will. And I think it really fits the art style very well. It has kind of Jet Set Radio look to it. The stages do some really cool things, because like I said, when the baseball gets faster and faster and faster and it starts breaking time and space itself, the stages start reacting to it. So there's a pool level, and once it starts getting faster and faster, rain just starts pouring in, and once it gets super fast, you have the colors start inversing. And I think once you get to 1 million speed or something, just the game is in black and white. But I personally, it takes 2 minutes in training to even get to that point, so most likely you're not going to experience that in a real game. But these stages react to it, and it's really cool. And also the stages are really unique. And this game has all of the characters that were in the last one, plus 3 new ones, and they said they're going to keep adding ones, whether, I don't know if it's going to be DLC or just free updates. Either way, I'm going to be happy. The biggest thing about Lethal League Blaze is some of the changes or additions they did to the Lethal League formula. So like I said, in the original Lethal League, if you just got hit at all, you were dead. So that could mean even at the very beginning of a round where the baseball was very slow, if you just messed up and got hit, that was it. You were dead. That was that round. Lethal League Blaze introduces kind of a health mechanic. So obviously when the ball is really fast and it's just bouncing all over the place and you get hit by it, even if you have full health, you'll still just die. But if you get hit when it's slower or it's kind of just starting to speed up, you'll take damage according to how fast the ball was going. And a lot of the times you'll go on the ground and you have the potential to kind of a get up attack, which brings the ball to you if it's close enough to you. you, and you kind of have control of it for a little bit, but it has so much end lag, so if you mess up, you're probably going to die because of how punishable it is. And I think the whole health system in itself adds a lot to it, because on top of that, you keep your health once the round changes. So say two players, they both have full health, this round starts, and you know, they're going back and forth, they both get to half health, and then one of them dies. Well, the person that respawns has full health, but the other one will still keep their half health. So you could maybe try to play a little bit more aggressively and just try to kill them real fast before the ball gets fast enough where it could insta-kill you. And I think that adds a lot. Another of the biggest changes they add was a grab and throw mechanic of the ball. What that is instead of hitting it or bunting it, because those were the two main things you could do in the original Lethal League, you can now grab and throw the ball. And one of the biggest reasons it's important is because in the original Lethal League, there was really no punishment for doing this kind of parry thing. And when I said the ball gets fast enough where it stops time, you can see when the ball's going to release. And so what a lot of people would do is they would jump up, you know, say the person's in the air, they would jump up and time it perfectly where they would hit the ball the second it got released from the other person. And once you practice it, it's pretty easy to do that. But there was a thing where if you had any bar and you bunted right as someone tried to come up and jump from you, you would parry them, they would get stunned, and then they would just die to the ball. And there was pretty much no punishment to doing that little parry system at all. So especially at high level Lethal League, the game kind of revolved around just waiting and being patient and just trying to see what the angles are going to be, because you couldn't really ever try to hit it right from them, because they would just parry it. So the new grab and throw mechanic does a couple of things. First of all, it's nice to have a mix-up, because just if you throw it out every now and then, you maybe can catch someone off guard if they think you're going to hit it, and they have this whole angle and you've been hitting the entire time, and they have low health, and you're just like, nope, I'm just going to throw it, and you can sometimes throw them off. So it's nice for some mix-ups, but on top of that, now if someone does the little parry thing and you just grab the ball from them and throw it at them, and they just die. So it has this kind of rock, paper, scissors mechanic to it where it's not safe to just parry every time, because you have to worry, well, if I parry, then they could just grab it from me and throw it at me. And likewise, if you try to grab them but they don't parry, then you get stunned and most likely you'll get hit. So it's a lot of reading, but also from playing a decent amount, I'm starting to see that you can kind of react to it. So if you jump up and you see them do the parry mechanic, then you a lot of the times will have enough time to grab them, depending on when they do it. So there's a lot, I think that adds a lot, because it brings back the mechanic of jumping up to them and trying to hit it right as it releases, because now you won't get punished 100% of the time for doing so. And I think that is really important for a game like Lethal League, because a lot of the excitement, at least in high level play, was how high the speed went and messed up the stage. You could feel it, and that's one thing that this game does really, really well. Everything it does is satisfying, in terms of the music, to killing people, to someone tries to parry and you throw it at them. I mean, the game makes you feel so good for just playing it, and it's really amazing, like I said, because it's an indie game, how polished it is. Lethal League Blaze is so unique. It does not play like any other fighting game. It really does its own thing, and that's one of the main reasons I really, really like it. It's not like, oh, well, this is Street Fighter but with this, or oh, this is just kind of like one of those Capcom games. You know, every time you play a fighting game, most of the time you can kind of make a lot of comparisons to other fighting games around the same genre. The old fighting games just kept on iterating and iterating on themselves, and because of that, a lot of the fighting games just feel kind of similar. I mean, you have your differences and stuff like that, and a lot of fighting games are very different than other fighting games, but Lethal League Blaze is in its own ballpark. You see what I did there? Ballpark is a baseball, aha. But it really truly is its own thing, and because of that, it's already starting to become one of my favorite fighting games of all time, honestly. And I've only played it for about 20-30 hours so far. It has only been out for about 4 days as of recording this video, but if you enjoyed the first Lethal League game, I would highly recommend, without a doubt, you to get Lethal League Blaze, because it's pretty much just Lethal League but better. And if you have not tried it but you think it looks interesting, I would definitely recommend you try it out as well. But overall, great game. And if you guys have played it or you've seen gameplay of it, let me know in the comments down below what your guys' thoughts of it were. I'd love to hear them all. And if you enjoyed this video, then consider leaving a like down below and subscribing to see more content. New videos come out every Wednesday and Sunday. And like always, guys, I hope you guys have a great rest of the day.